What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness. Got the Lou Dort shirt on today. I realized I don't have a shirt for any of the reigning teams except the Thunder. So that's a problem. I have to buy probably whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference Finals, and then I should probably buy a Timberwolves shirt at this point. But I have a Cavs shirt. I have a Celtics shirt. I don't know who the other team. I had a Mavericks shirt because I kind of thought that would be the Western Conference Finals was Thunder Mavs before the season. Obviously, that didn't happen. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the playoffs, obviously the conference finals. First of all, I want to talk about each closeout game of Knicks, Celtics, and Thunder Nuggets, and then we'll get into really breaking down the conference finals, who I think will win, and how I think they'll win. We'll start with Knicks, Celtics. It's been a while, so I'm really not too fresh on this game. The Knicks just kind of blew them out, walked them down in New York, and I think it was expected. Game one, without your star player, it feels like is always a big game for that team. And the Celtics came out, played really, really well without Jason Tatum. Do it for Tatum is kind of what it felt like, and it kind of gave you hope. And then the Knicks just put their foot on their neck, and they played really well and knocked them out, knocked them down, and drug them out of the building. Porzingis struggled to stay on the court. Luke Cornett was not nearly as good as he was in Game 5 and Game 6. Jaylen Brown, same way. Peyton Pritchard, same way. And then, just Jalen Brunson being Jalen Brunson. That Knicks offense is really, really good, and they got Cat the ball early a lot more, which I liked. And then today, as I'm recording this, Thunder beat the Nuggets, just an avalanche of steals and fast break points for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, it was unreal how quickly it unraveled. And to me, the big turning point, which I hate to say this because Adelman was great all series, he took out Jokic and Jamal Murray. And so it was a non-Jokic, non-Murray lineup. Those lineups are like negative 24 net rating throughout the season. Like, they're bad. And he hadn't done that yet in the playoffs. He's been making great decisions with rotations, with player substitution, with rest, especially those three things. And so you didn't expect a Game 7 lapse from him. And it was just an immediate 7-0 run, I think, without Jokic and Murray. Maybe it was 13-0, but I mean, it was quick. The Thunder take the lead. And from that point, it was 8-0. It was an 8-0 run because it was 21-26 coming out of the second quarter, and then 29-26, I believe, or 27-26. I think it was 29-26 once Jokic and Murray came back in. And then even from there, I don't know what's on my TV right now. Even from there, the Thunder continued to push it to a 13-0 run. All right, I changed my TV. When it's on and idling, it shows cities and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool for me to look at while I was recording. And then a Mathis Home, I don't know if Mathis Home is regional, but a Mathis Home commercial just popped up, and it was talking, and I couldn't have that. So now I got a very blue face. Let's change that. That'll work. Anyway, Adelman was great throughout the playoffs until today, and that was kind of the turning point of the game. Thunder it was kind of back and forth in that second quarter of Thunder score, Nuggets score, Thunder, Nuggets score, and then end of the quarter, just the avalanche from Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams, and then it just continued in the third, and then obviously the fourth quarter, the Nuggets kind of gave up with 10 minutes left. So unbelievable win from the Thunder, going to a lineup of Shea, J-Dub, Dort, Caruso, Case, and Wallace against Jokic, MPJ. I don't know if Aaron Gordon was on the court at the time, but it was Jokic, MPJ, and then Jamal Murray was out there. So just unbelievable stuff from the Thunder. And I keep seeing, obviously I am a Thunder fan, so I might be a little slightly biased, but I think I do a pretty good job of not being biased. So I see a lot of the refs. Well, I think that every series has been ultra physical. You look at the Warriors-Rockets, you look at Warriors-Timberwolves, even though it wasn't a very close series, I think it got very physical at times. the refs are allowing both sides to do that, and I don't think the Nuggets matched up super well for physicality, if that makes sense. Like, Aaron Gordon's a very physical player. Christian Brown at times very physical. Russell Westbrook very physical. But then, like, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., guys, those two guys who are on the court a lot, who are getting put in a lot of action, aren't the most physical players. And then you look at the Thunder, outside of Shea, it's like every dude is, and even Shea has long arms and really good hands, and he's disrupting passing lanes and getting steals. I mean, almost led the league in steals again this year. So that's kind of the biggest difference with the Thunder, is just how every guy is defensively portable, very switchable, very physical, just very gifted defenders. So I think that's enough of the recap. We'll talk about Pacers Knicks first. Knicks Pacers is going to be fun. It's that old time rivalry of the 2000s, of the 90s, of just these two gritty teams. And I mean, the Pacers, outside of Hallie, a very, very gritty team. And even Hallie at times, especially in this playoffs, he has been a lot like that, especially defensively. I love what he's done defensively to his game. He's become one of it's insane, one of the better defenders on that team. All of a sudden, I mean, he's using his length, he's using his size, which everyone thought it would be a positive for him and turn him into a good defender, and he's finally doing it. So that's fun to watch. Then you just have some dogs, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith. It feels like Obi Toppin has been a part of, like, just physicality a little more than he ever has. Miles Turner obviously has become has been for a long time a really great rim protector and rim deterrent. It's a fun Pacers team. And then the Knicks, you have Jalen Brunson at the helm. So you have the Jalen Hallie matchup, and then it's, who's going to guard Hallie? Probably Mikal, probably OG. And who's going to guard Jalen Brunson for the Pacers? You get Andrew Nembhard, who to me is one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, and that's not respected enough in my opinion. So it's going to be fun. I'm not very middle, am I? Is this like middle? I'll move my thing this way. That work? Maybe better. But I think it's going to be a really fun series. I'm excited for the Cat Miles Turner matchup. I'm excited to see Hallie take on the Cat switches. I'm interested to see, because obviously last series Tibbs completely changed his defensive scheme, which I didn't know was possible out of Tom Thibodeau, and he did it. And Cat wasn't in drop really ever in that series, always taking on the switch. Well, the Pacers are, especially Tyrese Halliburton, are really, really good about capitalizing off switches. They're a really, really good three-point shooting team. I think I have their splits up on this screen. They've shot 40.6% as a team in the playoffs from three. I mean, they've been unreal, and Halliburton's, taken the most per game and shot 33%. So outside of him, you're looking at Andrew Nembhard, 5 attempts, or 4.5 attempts, 50%. Nesmith, 5.5 attempts, 48%. Siakam, even 3.5 attempts, 44%. Miles Turner, 4 attempts, 45%. Like, this team has shot the crap out of the ball. And when Hallie got those switches against Jared Allen, I mean, he was abusing him. Jared Allen, a good defender, he made him look lost a lot. And then Miles Turner just being able to space the floor, and the Pacers really just playing 5 out the entirety. It's like the fourth time I've stopped this video. I just heard the laundry machine absolutely. I thought it was like thunder or something. I was insane. Anyway, the Pacers just being able to play 5 out the entire time. They do a great job of just being ready to shoot. I think their role players are the best at hitting open shots. I look at a team like the Thunder, the T-Wolves. The T-Wolves go through a lot of cold stretches. The Thunder go through a lot of cold stretches. I feel like the whole playoffs for the Thunder has been a cold stretch. And the Pacers just have great role players who knock them down. I would like to see more out of Pascal, I think, even though he's been like quietly really, really good. He's shooting 54% from the field and 44% from three, averaging 18, 6 and 3. So maybe I'm making it up, but I just think there's games where he's too quiet. But that is the kind of the Pacers offense. He's a really great guy for them to get the ball to in half court when they have nothing going, and he does a great job of taking over the offense and finding that mid-post area and finding a way to score. He's really great at it, and the Pacers love to run a lot. And so when they're not running effectively, they have a guy in Pascal who they can get the ball to. For the Knicks, I'm going to pull up their stuff. They've been really fun. One of the more fun teams to watch in the playoffs as well, because Jalen Brunson, the way it's so heliocentric, but not, if that makes sense. Like, OG has the ability to kind of take you off the dribble. Mikal has shown the mid-range a good amount. I don't know how well he shot from the mid-range this playoffs, but he's been really, really good at making timely threes, making timely shots. He's a good option to have. OG's a good option to have. Even he's not great off the dribble, but he's good. Miles McBride's hitting like 40% of his threes, even though it feels like 45. Like, it feels like a lot more. Josh Hart's shooting 42% from three. A guy who's normally like a hub who just kind of does dribble handoffs. He's just finding a way over and over and over again. I mean, this team, Mikal is hitting 33% of his threes. Cat's only at 34. OG's only at 36. Deuce is at 40. They're shooting 35.8% from three, and it really hasn't mattered. Just because you have Jalen Brunson, who's averaging 28 points per game, 29 if you round up. Cat's averaging 20 and 11. He's done a great job defensively. I just think it feels like this team has so much, yet so little, if that makes sense. Like, they don't have much coming off the bench. You got Mitchell Robinson, you got Deuce McBride, and after that, it's not much. And compared to the Pacers, they feel like one of the deeper teams in the league. Because I didn't even talk about Mid Mathurin. I didn't even talk about T.J. McConnell. I barely talked about Obi Toppin. I didn't talk about Ben Shepherd. Jarris Walker's played in every playoff game. Thomas Bryant's played in every playoff game. Ben Shepherd's only played in 8, but he can knock it down if he needs to. 35% this playoff. Very capable. Jarris Walker's 37.5 from 3. I mean, the Pacers just are a lot deeper, and that helps them with running, and that's kind of what I'm worried about with the Knicks. I do think the Pacers are going to come out on top in this series. I think their team defense is so good, alongside how they run, alongside their energy and physicality, and what they bring to the table. However, it's hard to bet on or against Jalen Brunson, especially when, you're really looking at Andrew Nembhard, and that's about it on the defensive side. Obviously, Aaron Nesmith, but then you have Miles Turner in the paint. So I don't know. I'm rolling Knicks. You need Cat to be, or I'm rolling Pacers, but for the Knicks, you need Cat to be dominant in the paint. He's got to average like 25 in this series if you want a chance to win. And then Mikal and OG, I mean, they need to continue to hit timely shots, but they need to knock down a higher clip if they really want a chance to win this series. I also feel like they haven't been terrible. I felt like the Knicks had turned the ball over a lot, but they've turned it over literally 0.2 more than the Pacers. But we're gonna get to Thunder Wolves now. This series, it feels like very similar teams. If you really think about, Ant and Shea, then you got Dub and Julius Randle, then you have Rudy Gobert and like half Chet, half iHeart. The Wolves having Mike Conley feels like such a upper hand in a slight way, because I think if Shea or Dub get that Mike Conley switch, it's trouble. I'm interested to see, because I'm pretty sure the Thunder will go too big. So I would imagine your matchups would go Randall on Julius Randall on Chet, Rudy Gobert on iHeart, Jaden McDaniels on Shea, and on Dub maybe, and the Mike Conley on Lou Dort. And I'm interested to see when that Mike Conley switch happens and he's not guarding one of Lu Dort, if he's not guarding Lu Dort really at all, and he's guarding one of Shea or J-Dub, how the Thunder take advantage of that. I also am really interested to see how the Wolves, I know that they're going to mix in zone after what we saw against the Nuggets. And I do think that zone is going to be a lot better. And as a Thunder fan, that worries me, but I do think it's going to be a lot better because you have longer arms, you have faster guys, you have just pure better defenders, and you have a rim protector, a rim deterrent in Rudy Gobert, who's a 4-time DPOY, one of the best we've ever seen in the paint. It's really hard for me to bet against the Timberwolves, and I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go Wolves in 7. I'm going to go Pacers in 7. Really close to 6, closer to 6 in that one. But, I mean, this one, I'm so 50-50, it's not funny. I just think at the end of the day, the Thunder haven't shot the ball well. Obviously, you have Caruso, you have Kaysen coming off the bench, but you look at the Timberwolves and they have Dante DiVincenzo, they have Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who knows Shea, and I mean, I think you can be pretty comfortable with matching him up against Shea. And I mean, I think Shea said something along the lines he's his second brother, and so I mean, they've matched up a lot in the backyard. They've matched up a lot probably in the off season, and for Team Canada this past summer, I'd imagine they were going head to head. So it's going to be a fun series. I think this series for the Thunder hasn't been talked about enough. I think it's going to be a lot harder than the Nuggets series because, again, the Timberwolves zone is going to be better. The length, the defensive ability, Rudy Gobert playing in the middle. I mean, he's a 4-time DPOY. He's great. I will be interested to see when the Thunder go pick and roll, how that's handled. I'm interested to see how the Thunder handle Ant in pick and roll situations. I would imagine any Rudy Gobert screen is getting blitzed, and that's going to be interesting. And you probably dare Rudy to catch the ball, and then from there make a decision with it. I don't know if you rotate really quick. You're probably going to bring a small guard every time. Like in my mind, I'm seeing a Chet or a iHeart, and who would be guarding Ant? Lu Dort, Trap up there, and then you have Kaysen Wallace or Caruso behind, getting his hands in on that Rudy Gobert pass, that short roll pass. So that's going to be interesting. I do think the Thunder defense is enough to really deter the Timberwolves offense that hasn't worked really well this playoffs. You look at it against the Warriors, you look at it against the Lakers. It was a lot better against the Lakers. But I also look at that first half or first quarter, I guess, of Game 1 of the Warriors-Wolves series, and they did not do a good job on Steph at all, which is also really interesting because if you don't do a good job on Shea and he gets going from the mid-range area, it feels unstoppable at times. Because I mean, the bumps, the little shoulders, the mid-range ability, he's mastered it and it's untouchable. You can't block it. Like there's just nothing you can do about it. So again, gonna be an interesting series. I don't know if I trust the others of the Thunder like I do with the Timberwolves, just their whole team. Obviously, Ant's going to have bad games. I could really see Ant not doing much and the Timberwolves winning this series. That's the big thing that makes me think it's going to be them winning. Because I could see Ant getting blitzed the whole time, and if he is just getting the ball out and the others are making plays, I can see them winning the series. And for the Thunder, it's just going to be about beating the zone that's going to be really, really good out of the Timberwolves. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to think in 30 minutes about something I didn't hit on, and it's going to upset me. But that's all right. Especially with the Knicks. I feel like I drew a blank with the Knicks. I wanted to write down notes, and I didn't get to it. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Looking for 100 subscribers by a month now. Probably going to fall short, but I'm really excited for this time of the year. I have some videos planned about 2 individuals. Then we're going to do a lot of draft stuff on this channel. I love the draft. We're thinking, the mock drafts. We're doing. I'll react to a mock draft probably. I'll give you all my favorite fits of the draft and when the drafts happened. Just my favorite picks, fits, all that. So please stay tuned. Hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss that. Subscribe. Leave a like. I love y'all. Peace. Baby. Peace.